Before I go shopping, I often like to see what I have on hand and then I just put it together and I juice it. So we're going to see how this mix will come out today and see how it's going to taste. I've gathered up what I have in the kitchen available to juice and I'm deciding what's good enough to use or not. That first watermelon's kind of old, so I'm not going to use it. The celery has a couple bad parts, so I'm just picking those out and going to take them aside. And now looking at the lemons, this one right here looks a little old. I'm just going to cut those parts off and use it and cut it open, see how it looks. Most of the limes look pretty good. I will just cut some pieces off that might be rotten. I have some cucumbers. This one was kind of old. I'm throwing that one completely out. It was in the back of the refrigerator. That's not going to get juiced. And let's see, the cilantro looks really good. I just cut some of the ends off that it was sitting in water in my refrigerator. So I cut those off and it looks really fresh. So moving on to the apples, they're a little wrinkly because they're older, but they are good enough to use. So I'm just going to cut them open, make sure there's no rotten pieces and just cut that piece off and anything else I find. So I'll get those all prepped up. And the pineapple looks really good, really fresh. So I'm going to definitely use some pineapple in this mix. And the beet is a little older, so I'm going to go ahead and peel it and definitely use this beet. Watermelon, here it is. She's beautiful. She has all the perfect markings, so I'm definitely going to use some of this watermelon in this mix that I'm creating with what I have on hand. I like to rinse everything and just give it a quick clean, and then I begin to prepare. So here I'm cutting up the apples. They look really good inside, so I am just going to chop a few up and put them into the container so they're ready to juice. The lemons here are pretty good. I'm just cutting off the piece that looks rotten and making sure there's no squishy rotten pieces inside the lemon, because sometimes that will happen if it's a little overripe or rotten or something like that. But other than just these few pieces, I am going to use them both. I like to actually use my bread knife to cut up my lemon and limes because of the serrated edges that it has. It cuts them up really nicely. So that's my little secret tip. And these limes are going to be really delicious in here. So I'm glad I'm using these before they go bad. As I'm prepping my items and putting them in their bowls, or I like to set that by the juicer so everything's nice and organized. It makes juicing so much easier. I like to wash my celery, as I mentioned earlier, washing everything and just giving it a quick clean. Celery is so good for us. It's full of anti-inflammatory and cancer-fighting properties. And cilantro here, I'm giving it a little rinse as well. And it aids detoxification pathways in the body and it stimulates the liver. So it really helps detoxify heavy metals. So I'm glad that I had some of this on hand. Here's the cucumber. It's so good for the cardiovascular system, you know, with that magnesium and potassium and vitamin K that's in there. It really helps regulate blood sugar levels as well as helps digestion. It smells so good. There we go. Moving on to the beet. Beets are so rich in folate, which is vitamin B9, and that helps the cells function better and controls damage to blood vessels. Really great to support heart health, and they make the juice such a beautiful, rich color, and they're just gorgeous. And I'm pairing it with watermelon today, so this juice is going to be absolutely gorgeous to look at and to drink. There's a little rotten piece right there in the center, so I'm getting to it and I cut it out, so no worries there. Pineapples, so good, so healthy. They help boost our immunity. They help improve recovery time. They're really rich in an enzyme called bromelain, so it's really good to help digestion, and also high in vitamin C. So overall, a wonderful, tasty fruit. So glad I had some today. This is just all going to mix together pretty well. I am curious about the cilantro being in there mixed with the watermelon and the pineapple, so we'll see how it comes out. Moving on to the wondrous watermelon. It is really great at helping with circulation, with heart health, with strength. The amino acid found in watermelon, called citrulline, is really great at improving our performance in exercise and helping reduce muscle soreness and giving the body super strength. It's so amazing. I love to do watermelon feasting for days every summer, and it's really fun when I guide groups through the cleanse together. So anyhow, more videos on that. If you want to look for them, I will try and create a playlist so you can find them more easily. So I'm going to go ahead and start to put everything into the hopper here using my J2 juicer by Nama Well. It makes juicing just a lot easier and funner and quicker to do, which is important to be consistent with juicing. So having this makes that a little bit more possible. So I know it has for me, being more consistent with it and sticking to it and just making the whole process a breeze, and including from start to finish and clean up. I love how it mixes everything in the hopper here, and it continues to chop it up. Here's a lime that was a little lodged on one of the blades. That's why I like to cut the lemon and limes a little smaller, because I notice they'll do that sometimes if they're just cut in half. But it's really easy to get that unstuck. Either I'll just open it like you saw me do here, or I will use the reverse button and it dislodges it, and then I go forward again. Here is the gorgeous juice coming out. I'm so excited to taste it, and wondering what this mix will taste like creatively. I just kind of go back and forth and layer in all of the produce. And I like to put my greens in the center, or at least like the second item that I layer in. I find that if they mix in, that it helps to process them and take them down through the juicer a little bit easier. More info on the juicer and a discount code for you in the description. Now let's give this juice a try. I'm enjoying it in my glass mason jar with my bamboo straw, and very interested in how it's going to taste. Oh my goodness, it really is delicious. Let me know if you try it.